Hi there. One really frustrating thing about this coronavirus is trying to get across to you guys how to answer these types of questions in terms of the Northern Ireland history paper. So I'm going to go through some of these here and try to explain, and you're going to get set quite a lot of these here for assignments going forward. Okay, we really want to have the Northern Ireland course finished by the end of June. Okay, so as we can head into the Cold War section next. Alright, the first question you're going to get out of the six for Northern Ireland is a 2 marker, and it's really simple. It's a very simple comprehension exercise based on sources. Alright, so this is what it looks like. So we're looking at about 2-3 minutes for this, okay, 3 minutes max, and it has a source and then it has a question here, and this is where you're expected to write your answer in this space. So it's a relatively short comprehension exercise. So it's simple: source, explanation. The question will ask to give you one reason, for you to give one reason to explain an event. You have to use the source in your answer, it says here. And what else do you have to do? You have to use your contextual knowledge. You have to support the source by what you know, okay, in your answer. Those two are really important. It's keep this answer very short but focused. You can see your time, your space here is actually very limited, so keep it very focused and try to get these two things sorted, and you'll be flying. You'll be off to a flying start. Okay, and try to complete this in 2-3 minutes. Timing is crucial for this type of question. Alright, so my top tips are this: bring a highlighter, bring a different colored pen, and as you're going through, highlight the key points, what stands out. Okay, so highlight the key points and highlight what the question wants. Alright, use small quotes in your answer, not big chunks. The examiners hate to see huge chunks of the source used. Try to keep it quite small and reasonable, okay, and something that's easily explained. And start with the source. Okay, so it's asking you to use a source. Start with that first, and then bring your contextual knowledge in afterwards as well. That'll really help you and help the examiners to give you the marks easily. Alright, so this is this question. Terence O'Neill explains economic plans for Northern Ireland in 1963. There's things that we can tell from this, to start off with. First of all, it's about the Prime Minister, the Unionist Prime Minister Terence O'Neill. He's the Prime Minister of Northern Ireland, and it's about his economic plans. That's one of your first key topics in Northern Ireland, and it's in 1963. If you know your stuff, you know 1963 is the year he becomes Prime Minister of Northern Ireland. And this is what he says: I want a new airport worthy of our position as the busiest air centre in Britain outside London. I am planning for a new hospital in Londonderry, the most modern in the world. We need new laboratories and research facilities at Queen's University to make sure we are at the forefront of knowledge. Okay, so your question is, using this source and your contextual knowledge, give one reason why O'Neill wanted to improve the economy of Northern Ireland. Okay, so one way that O'Neill wanted to improve the economy of Northern Ireland. So for me, what I would do is, there's a couple of reasons here. First of all, you've got the airports, you've got infrastructure, you have the hospital here as well too, most modern in the world, and you've also got new research facilities at Queen's. Alright, so I would start off by something like this. Am I going to use a source? Yes. Am I using my own knowledge? Yes, I am. This is what I would say. According to source A, one of the ways O'Neill wanted to improve the economy of Northern Ireland was to invest in a new airport. Again, I've used very clearly this part of the source here, a new airport. Okay, there it is there. He suggests that Northern Ireland is the busiest air centre outside London. Okay, so it does say that there. Okay, busiest air centre in Britain outside London. According to my own knowledge, this is where the second mark comes from, I know O'Neill did invest millions of pounds in infrastructure, in transport, okay, in Northern Ireland, such as motorways and a new airport, and I have named the airport. It's a Golden Nugget, Aldergrove, near Antrim. Okay, so have I used the source? Yes, I have. Have I used my contextual knowledge? Yes, I have. Have I answered the question relevantly? Yes, I have. So you get full marks. Okay, 2 marks. Good start. Second one then, it's very simple. Again, it's like a 4-marker, but it's just 2 reasons explaining something. Okay, so it's again a simple comprehension exercise. Okay, so simple source explanation exercise, asking you to give 2 reasons to explain an event. Think of it more as two markers, if that's possible. Okay, you have to use a source again, you have to use your contextual knowledge again, and you have to keep this answer again short but focused. Okay, if you have these 2 ingredients, you cannot really go wrong. This time 5 minutes to complete this. So this is what it actually looks like, something like this. My top tips here are to think of it as 2 markers, to use the source, small quotes, and to use your own contextual knowledge. You can't really go wrong. This is what this source looks like then. So it says study source 2 below and answer the questions which follow. Source B is from a Catholic resident of the Bogside in 1968. You should know, first of all, it's a Catholic resident, it's a Bogside, you should know where Bogside is. It's in Derry. You've studied the Battle of the Bogside, you know about Bloody Sunday, and you know about gerrymandering. The Bogside's mentioned in all 3 of those, so if you don't know that, you haven't revised. 1968 as well, just before the Troubles, but remember that's 1968 October, March from NICRA, that was in Derry. Okay, this is what it says. We are fed up with being treated like second-class citizens. We have had unionist decisions constantly going against us. It's bad enough living in a city which is dominated by gerrymandering, but we have also had to put up with clear discrimination by the Stormont government. Millions of pounds of new investment is now going to a small Protestant town, Coleraine, rather than the second biggest city in the north, Derry. A new city is also planned and they call it Craigavon. That name doesn't represent us. It will be a city designed by Protestants for Protestants, and it will be used to undermine our city of Derry simply because it has a Catholic majority. And your question is, using source B and your contextual knowledge, give 2 reasons from source B that explain why Catholics are so angry and frustrated with the Unionist government in the late 1960s. So you can tell there's actually 3 things here. It mentions gerrymandering, okay, so you can explain that there as part of the reason. It mentions millions of pounds of new investment going to the small Protestant town of Coleraine. You should again know that there is the University of Ulster, and it's not going to Derry, it's going to Coleraine. And then thirdly, it's actually saying about Craigavon, a city named after the Unionist Prime Minister, first Unionist Prime Minister in Northern Ireland, Lord Craigavon. So those are 3 potential reasons. You only need to have 2 of these. So let's see what we put down. Source B tells me one reason Catholics are angry and frustrated is that some of them live in a city which is dominated by gerrymandering. So I've used the source, I've picked out what the key point is, that's it, gerrymandering, and I've backed it up from my knowledge now. So I know from my own knowledge that gerrymandering was openly practiced in Derry, Londonderry. The electoral boundaries were drawn in such a way in the city that despite having a 70% Catholic population, the Unionists returned a majority of 12 councillors compared with 9 nationalists, this deeply anchored nationalists. So I've got my knowledge, I've got my source use, and made, it's made 2 marks, or 2 marks in the back. The source also suggests millions of pounds of investment is going to a small Protestant town, Coleraine. I know from my knowledge that the Unionist government decided to build the new University of Ulster in Coleraine, a small Protestant town, rather than Derry, a largely Catholic city. Again, this was a decision which appeared to Catholics to have been based on sectarianism. 2 marks, 2 marks. Source use, context, source use, contextual knowledge. Okay? Hopefully this helps.